Dear Maya, I want to just talk about how things can get pulled from under you in an instant, how change is kind of inevitable. And I think as I was younger, I would really think that being in some kind of routine was really good, and I didn't want to veer from that at all. I really wanted things to be planned out perfectly. I didn't really give myself any room to brace for the unknown. While that can be good, I think you're also missing out on opportunities that come your way when you kind of stay stagnant. When I was younger, I knew that I did not want to stay at any job really for more than a year. And I cycled through internships and jobs like I was eating Skittles. I think a lot of people thought that was weird, how I didn't want to stay in one place, but I really wanted to just put feelers out there and see what's going on in the world. As I've gotten older, before this job, the longest job I had was about 3 years. And it was good. It had good benefits. I was working for the city and things were really nice. But at that 3 year mark, it felt like I was getting very stagnant. I wasn't learning anything at my job. I wasn't really pushing myself personally. And it just felt blah. Fast forward and another opportunity came up. And so I took it. It was crazy because at the time, it just did not seem like it was plausible. It seemed so outlandish, so not even possible. And I was kind of getting fed this information, like this is literally your dream job, A, B, and C. So I thought to myself, what's in it for me? What's in it for the person who is telling me about it? And there was absolutely nothing in it for the person who had this job. They just wanted me to live. I really didn't get that. I was confused thinking, why this person doesn't even really know me. It's a friend of a friend kind of situation. And I don't get it. So I ignored her for a few months until I realized that fine. I'll take it. I'll see if I can get an interview. And I got the job. Everything started moving really fast. And this job that I'm in right now has given me so much opportunity, and I've never experienced the amount of growth that I've ever experienced at any other job. With that comes a lot of things, right? I have to learn how to balance my home life, my work life, relationship, trying to help you out, trying to be there for you, trying to be there for Oreo. The place that I'm at right now, it has kind of different levels, and you can level up when you want to. And you can also stay where you are and maybe just keep working and work overtime and get compensated really well for it. So there's a lot of options in going higher. With going higher, that means you have to learn how to navigate other things in your life. I think there was a time for about a year and a half or two that I felt really well. I felt like I got this. It's like really cool to be able to work from home and to be able to balance my life, because when I'm working in the zone, I'm getting stuff done. When I'm able to take Oreo for a walk or a run, I'm able to be with him in that moment. When I want to go on school field trips with you or volunteer for things at school, I'm able to do that. And it really kind of made me feel appreciated in all the elements in my life. I really liked that. Recently, I was given an opportunity to grow and I didn't want to take it. I had people above me telling me that it doesn't make sense, you don't take it, you're doing so good, da-da-da. But I know what comes with that, and I knew that it was going to be a really tough 5 months kind of being in some kind of test, where people are just looking at what you're doing and making sure you're doing it right, and you have to pass, I guess we'll call it. So I knew this was coming for a little bit, and I decided to accept it. It was a little bit stressful as it became closer and closer. And then I finally got on to this opportunity, and it has turned my life around 180. While I'm 100 billion% grateful for this opportunity, it's given me a different perspective because I'm really having to prove my worth, which is understandable. In any kind of growth, you really have to prove that you have what it takes to kind of level up. I didn't know that it would involve so much work, but the plus side is that I'm learning a lot. I've never been able to learn like this in a setting, like a work environment, a school environment, anything like that. And so I can feel this growth come with me. So around the same time I started this new venture, your dad got an opportunity out of the blue and has gone totally 180 with that. So we're both kind of growing and leveling up in our own way. I think it's been really helpful for us because we're both learning different things. And the way your dad and I learn is very different too. It's been nice to kind of come back together at the end of the day and compare notes to what he's been learning and what I've been learning and what's been helpful for us or what's been detrimental to the learning process. It's crazy. Like I've never thought that we could work this hard mentally in our lives. And I think we're kind of at this road. We're on this road and we're just driving, just pedal to the metal right now. And it's a little chaotic. It's a little overwhelming. It can be stressful, but I also just keep trying to remind myself that this is very temporary, just like everything in life, the ups and the downs, it's very temporary. And I'm really glad that I'm not in a position where I just get up and I know how my day is going to go. You know, this is very much, I don't know how my day is going to go. I really have to be ready. You know, it's kind of like when you're playing a sport, you have no idea who your competition is to an extent. You can watch them from afar, you can watch tapes on them and videos of past games, I suppose, but you have no idea what kind of moves they're going to come up with. It could be a new play. It could be a new person who joined and you don't even know, you haven't been watching them. So a lot of things are kind of just thrown at you at once and you have to be ready. You have to be prepared to kind of stop that ball from going into the net. I don't think it's necessarily the easiest for me to kind of jump in on things on the fly. And so this has kind of helped teach me how to do that and how to navigate how I feel amongst all of this. I don't think it's a good or a bad thing. I think growing is just, there's sometimes pain. That's why it's called growing pains, right? And I know that. I know it's scary to even say this, but I know in my gut, like in my soul, deep in my soul, that this is going to be this time that your dad and I look back at and we're like, damn, we did that. We pushed through when we didn't want to. We did a lot of shit we did not want to do. We went through a lot of things and we were able to get out on the other side. And I think that's the coolest thing, is to kind of be in the moment right now of chaos and being able to still pull yourself out of it from a different perspective and lens and just say, hey, like, it is not going to be like this forever. We're going to make it out. It feels even scary saying that to you out loud right now, even just talking to myself. It feels like, no, Megan, like you have to it feels like grungy and scary and you're feeling it like in your body and you're like, no, you can just want to curl up in a ball and just say, it's scary. I don't want to do this anymore. I think that's what happens right before you grow, right before you push through. So while I'm going to be doing this for the next few months, I'm still learning how to take care of myself in a different way that I haven't before. I'm still learning how to listen to my body and get up and move around when I need to and stretch or work out and do things that are just not on schedule, not necessarily on time. I know I'm being a little bit vague about it, but there's so many things going on with the world right now that I don't want to get in trouble about talking about certain things. I've already been told I have to watch what I say about my job because times are scary, so I am being a little bit vague. I mean, this really applies to life in general because sometimes there are opportunities that seem a lot bigger than us and we might not feel like we can fulfill those shoes, and we might think that, I'm just getting used to A, B, and C and there's maybe I need to perfect that before I go to the next thing. I think that when the opportunity comes knocking, you need to jump and say, I did A, B, and C before, and now I'm ready for D and E and F. I'm ready to take that on. Whatever this may be, I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm getting myself into. But if we don't take those opportunities, then I don't think we're going to end up growing. It seems so easy, right? Talking about it out loud seems so easy. While you're in the storm, it seems so chaotic around you, and it feels like things sometimes get very blurry. And you think to yourself, not even 2 or 3 weeks ago were things a lot more clear. How come it seems like it keeps getting more blurry and blurry? And to that, I would say it's because you are in the midst of a storm. You are trying to swim your way out. And just like Dory says, you just have to keep on swimming because that's all we can do in these moments. And I never thought I would ever dare to say this, but chaos is good. Chaos is how we survive. If we can get through these chaotic moments, if we can get through this painful transition, we can get through anything. And my friend once told me to write down all the really super hard things I've ever done and put it next to my computer. So when I do feel like this, to make sure I remember all of the things that I've gone through already so I can keep going. I'd say that was a pretty wise thing. I've already been rambling on. And I think to myself, even when I get past this moment, will I want to level up again? And my head is like, oh my God, why are you even thinking about that? Let's just get through to this one. Being in the moment feels so uneasy sometimes, but I think that's where we need to be. I think that's where we belong. When we think so far into the future, it really doesn't help because we're not there right now. We're right here. And right now I'm just talking to you. I'm going to edit this little podcast and shoot it out into the ether webs. And then hopefully start designing, since I haven't been able to do that for the past week. If you get anything from this, make sure you take those jumps when they have been offered to you, and don't let people tell you to stay comfortable. And guess what? If you don't jump, somebody else is going to take that opportunity, and you're going to watch them. That's not a fun one. Bye, Bean.